Hi guys, so a number of British ports have been pleading with the UK government to delay or cancel the next wave of bureaucracy related to Brexit. Now, they've been saying that border controls will not be ready for the July deadline. This is at the same time as customs facilities inland have been are currently being built and are actually behind schedule. Now, we have to remember that the Brexit minister, David Frost, Lord Frost actually, who's an unelected bureaucrat, he's been under a lot of pressure recently over these checks to be carried out on goods moving from the EU into the UK. And he has been saying that he's considering reviewing full checks to be carried out. Now, I don't know, but this could create conflict with the European Union or actually with the WTO, the World Trade Organization. Now, we know that exports from the EU into the UK have been subject to controls since the beginning of the year in January, but the British government decided to give a bit of breathing space to companies and allow them to import without so many checks, but this is going to change on the 1st of July. Ministers have been under pressure to put in place designated border posts for animals, plants and other types of goods coming in from the EU by sea, by rail and by air. And these all have to be inspected. Now, there's less than 4 months to go and construction has only started at ports in around the cities of Portsmouth. There's another one at Purefleet on Thames in Essex and Killingholme on the Humber. So this is creating a lot of concern, not just for businesses, but actually for farmers as well. So the National Farmers Union is warning that livestock trades could be severely disrupted because there's no actual port at the minute to carry out checks on farm animals. Now, as I said before, some of these inland ports have not been completed. One at near Holyhead, another that's to serve the ports of Fishguard and Pembroke, haven't been announced yet, while the one at the Kent site, which has been nicknamed White Cliffs, is basically being described as a muddy field at the moment. Now, don't worry, because the government, Boris Johnson's administration, have decided to allocate resources to deal with this problem. £200 million of taxpayer money will be spent upgrading these ports. Didn't we always hear that Brexit was going to create money, not cost money? Anyway, they've allocated funding to this port infrastructure fund. Unfortunately, it has been oversubscribed and there is no money left to carry out many of the activities that have been asked for by the ports. Now, for example, Portsmouth applied for £32 million in funding, but only received 17.1 million, which means that the publicly owned port will have a significant shortfall and it will not be able to carry out live animal inspection. So that option is off the table. This port is actually quite important because it contributes about £8 million to the UK exchequer every year, and it's the main point of entry for the UK when it comes to racehorses, breeding animals such as pigs, sheep and cattle. So the loss of Portsmouth would be a huge hit to the agricultural sector. Now, while border control posts can somewhat resemble industrial units or distribution warehouses from the outside, the interior must be biosecure, as I said before, and inspection of live animals, meat and plants have to be carried out without any risk of contamination, and vets have to be on hand to carry out these checks. So this requires extra space for heavy goods vehicles, and this adds to the cost and the complexity of the building itself. Also, where there isn't space to carry out these checks, the government has decided to build inland facilities as well, up to 10 of them, including ones in Wales and Scotland. So if these new checks are not delayed, it means that there's going to be a massive headache for the port authorities. Now, an alternative to this seems to be to continue to carry out checks at the destination point. But this would, of course, allow the ports to remain open and would facilitate smuggling and fraud. And of course, it would continue to cost the UK Exchequer billions in lost revenue. A lot of these issues could have been avoided if the UK government had asked for an extension to the Brexit transition period, but it decided against that for political reasons. So it seems in order to save face for Brexiteers, understaffed, under-resourced and underfunded port authorities are going to have a lot more on their plate going forward. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?